when I did the Jay Shetty podcast, like I saw a lot of people comment saying like, you always knew you were gay. You put that woman through like hell. And honestly, it's not the truth. At a young age, when I was told I was these things that seemed bad, before I'd really kind of delved into it, I was very focused on just not being that. I didn't really entertain it. Your brain is really powerful, how you can just like unsee something, but only for so long. You know, when I came out at 26, it was so hard. And then not only was I trying to understand that, I was trying to explain it to other people.
Yeah.
The people I loved the most, I was also hurting. And I felt that I was bringing that shame I had as a child onto them. I felt like, oh, they're going to get bullied. They're going to get picked on now. They're going to have a gay dad. It's going to be hell. That to me was the limit. Couldn't comprehend hurting my own children, because all you want to do as a dad or as a parent is just protect your kid. And I tried everything to try and get rid of it, and I couldn't. I did try and end my life, and it didn't work. I think when I laid in that hospital bed, I was in there for a while, and I remember thinking to myself, well, what now? Like, I couldn't have hated myself anymore. I couldn't have wanted to be anyone else than me. And I realized I'd spent my whole life trying to be somewhere else, or be someone else. And I think in that moment, I just surrendered. I just sort of said, what's the opposite I could do? If I'm going to be here, I can't change it. But what about if I just accept it? But step one is just saying, this is who I am.
Hello, you cutie little lemon drops. Happy Wednesday, or whatever day of the week it is that you are listening to this. I hope your week is off to a great start, and I cannot tell you how excited I am for today's episode with celebrity hairstylist and author Chris Appleton. I've been a huge fan of Chris for so long, so this episode really means a lot to me. Chris is known for shaping some of the most iconic beauty moments in pop culture, working with names like Kim Kardashian, Jennifer Lopez, and Ariana Grande. But honestly, there is so much more to his story. In this episode, Chris gets deeply personal about the role fear has played in his life, from the fear of disappointing the people he loved most while coming out to his ex-partner and children, to the shame he carried for years and what ultimately helped him heal. He shares what led him to a breaking point and a suicide attempt, how he found his way back, and what self-care looks like for him now. Chris has such an inspiring story, and I am so excited for you guys to hear it. Chris, welcome to The Squeeze.
Thank you for having me. So exciting to be here.
This is exciting because I've watched you on the internet for a very long time, so I'm excited to...
It's a crazy place.
Sit in a good way,
What did you see? Don't believe it.
In a good way. No, I'm excited to dive into your book today because I feel like there's a lot of really important things that you cover and are really just like vulnerable and honest about. So thank you for coming and chatting with me today.
I'll be honest, it was pretty brutal.
Really?
So, things enable for me to be able to feel like I had a place to speak to people, to help people. I felt like I had to be really vulnerable as to why I validate as having that voice.
Yeah.
So just going that deep and that dark, I said things I never thought I'd say.
Oh, wow.
Yeah. Once things that were so private, I don't think the closest people in my life knew about. And then I'm telling the whole world.
Yeah.
So it was a vulnerable place to be, but I think I had to come from a place of vulnerability to help others feel inspired to want to change or make a move, or just for anyone that really has ever just looked in the mirror and been like, is this it?
Yeah.
Like, is this, or a job that they're unhappy in, or a marriage that they don't know how they ended up in an unhappy marriage, or friendships or financial situation. There's so many lessons in there to help people. And that's what the reader will find is it's a way of kind of making your comeback at any age, which is, I think, really exciting. And it's kind of what I did as a career. And I've managed to do it with some amazing people, which people obviously know the names and faces of the people I've worked with, which is great. I'm very grateful for that. But also, I've worked with every type of client, like clients in a salon, a client that lost their hair to cancer, a model on the runway, and like I say, celebrities. And universally, I saw a similar pattern of what happened when someone sat down in my chair and they looked in the mirror. Yeah. Because it's the most vulnerable time.
For sure.
Yeah. Like, I mean, you look in the mirror, like on average 10 to 15 times a day. It's really rare that you stop and actually really look, though. Like you glance and you see yourself, you brush your teeth, you do your hair, whatever. But it's not very often that people actually really look and be like, how did I get to this? Like,
Yeah.
is this who I am? And like I said, if anyone's ever looked in the mirror and wondered if there's something more, maybe it's, like I said, in your job, or maybe it's a visual thing about how you look. It's really nice to start the conversation of how you can make a change.
Yeah. I feel like with hairstylists specifically, like I feel like I was just resonating with what you're saying when I get my hair done and I have the cape on and I'm looking at myself in the mirror. And most of the time when I'm getting my hair done, I have like no makeup on, like, and I'm just sitting there with this cape and I'm staring at myself and I'm like, oh my gosh, is this what I look like? And
Inner hater, the voice in your head. We all have the inner, I talk about that in the book. I talk about the inner hater.
Yeah.
It's awful.
Yeah.
You sit down in that chair and you're like, Jesus, is the lighting bad, or am I really looking this old, or these gray hairs?
Yes.
And you're like, one side of my lip goes up and the other side goes down. And you're like, am I old? Have I got old? Like, it's like the voice is savage.
Yeah.
It's rare that someone sits in the chair and is like, wow, I look fantastic. I'm going to leave. Thank you very much.
Yeah. It normally takes after the appointment is over and then you feel better about yourself once your hair is done.
I think sitting in the chair, like they say, your hairstylist is like a therapist.
Yeah.
Because there's something about when you sit, you're like, okay.
Yeah.
Let me see. And let's see, what the possibilities are. And a lot can happen in that chair. A lot has happened in my chair.
Yeah, I bet. What made you decide that now was the time? Because you said it was definitely hard for you to do. What made you be like, okay, now this is the time for me to do this?
I've been doing hair since I was 13. I think now at 42, most people know Chris Appleton, if you like, as like working with celebrities, quite polished looking Instagram, like, oh, wow, looks like he's got it all together. And I think the reality of it is my life has been far from that.
Yeah.
People perceive you as successful because you work with the people you work with. Again, my life has been far from that. And I've spent much more of my life in shame and in sadness than I have in light and joy and, success. Yeah. So I really felt it was healthy to like pull back the conversation and pull back the curtain behind like the glitz and the glamour of it all and show the real me, like the cost of success, what it took to get there, what it's actually like working with celebrities, what it's like, being trolled on social media, or what it's like being lost yourself, being in the darkest point of your life yourself. And again, like I say, how to kind of come back from that and to not be identified by your roots. They're always a part of you. We had like a quick conversation before we started where I was saying like my roots really used to define me. Yeah. So much so that I completely abandoned myself. Yeah. I didn't even realize I did it. Yeah. I made a career out of making people look in the mirror and see themselves. And there was a real power in that. I remember when my mom was my first client, I was like, I think I was 9 years old. I'd do her hair because we were really poor as kids. Yeah. My mom and dad had quite a bad upbringing and we didn't have a lot. Yeah. So I used to try and make my mom look like a Hollywood star. I wanted to try and look glamorous. Yeah. I was never very good at school. I was dyslexic, so it wasn't something that I felt like I was ever seen. I was kind of told I was stupid. But when I did hair, I felt so alive. And I felt that when like my mom stood up and looked in the mirror, she responded. She stood taller, like her shoulders went back. And for a minute, she forgot she was a working mum of 5 and she saw something new, something that she hadn't seen before. And that to me was so amazing. I was like, wow, this is like a superpower. You get to make people really feel something. So I kind of get to do that now with, amazing clients, which has been great. But I also have done it with people that have lost their hair because of cancer. Yeah. And I realized that identity is such a big thing. Even the people that play it off and is like, I've had the same hair all my life, I don't care. Yeah, but that same hair has been really significant to your identity. If you think about celebrities, like think about Anna Wintour. Yeah. The first thing you'd probably iconically know is her bob. Yeah. Ariana Grande, the ponytail. Yeah. Kim K, the long, sleek, dark hair. J-Lo, that kind of like golden balayage pop of color with the curtain bangs, Lady Gaga, platinum blonde. Marilyn Monroe, platinum, hair it says so much about you. Even if you want to play it down as you don't care about your appearance, hair says so much about your identity and the person you are. And a lot of people don't even know why they've got what they've got. Yeah. And it's usually because a version of themselves as a kid. Someone said, like, you suit bangs, you don't suit not having bangs. Or you only suit being blonde, you don't suit being brunette. So what I noticed when people sat in my chair is like, we would talk about different options, because I was never that kind of hairstylist that was like, okay, what are we doing today? Same as usual.
Yeah.
I was always like, all right, well, tell me like about you. And they'd be like, well, okay. And so tell me where you're at. Where have you, ever wanted to go? Like, is there anyone's hair you aspire to look like? Or is there anyone?
Yeah.
And they'd be like, well, yeah, I love this look, but I know I can't do that.
Yeah.
And I'd be like, well, why? Who told you can't do that? And they'd be like, well, I just know I can't do that. And they wouldn't even really know. And probably once, like 20 years ago, someone said that this is who you are. And then you end up carrying it your whole life.
Yeah.
And it's not necessarily even yours. You've just inherited it. And that's why we called the book Your Roots Don't Define You, because so much of our life, we let it define us.
Yeah.
And it's about knowing that you can reinvent yourself at any age. And yes, a lot of it is about external. So there is that cosmetic look to it. It's kind of what I do and what people know. But so much of it, and the real heart of it, is internal. Because once you get that alignment of external and internal, and they are aligned, is really when the magic happens. And I think that's what I created with the people I worked with, and everyone that sat in my chair universally, whether they lost their hair due to cancer, if they were performing at the Super Bowl, or if they were walking down a show on a runway.
Yeah.
When those things are aligned is when the magic happened, which is when like a cancer patient would turn around to me and say, I feel like I can fight this now. Or, someone could go out there, perform at the Super Bowl and feel amazing, feel confident, feel great, feel like she's ready to face the world. Or, a model that's insecure about the way she looks and she's going to walk down the runway for the first time. It worked universally.
Yeah.
So it really isn't a superficial thing. It's much more internal.
Yeah. I love it. Lately, my life has felt like a constant juggling act between work, social plans, travel, trying to move my body, and still show up for myself. There are so many days where my own health ends up taking a back seat. I'll look up and realize I've been running around all day answering emails, hopping from one thing to the next, and haven't actually fueled myself in the way that feels good. And that's exactly where Premier Protein comes in for me. On those busy days when I need something quick, convenient, and actually satisfying, Premier Protein has become my go-to. It's the kind of thing that I can grab without slowing down, but still feel good after choosing. Whether I'm heading out the door, need an afternoon boost, or just want something easy that fits into my routine, it makes fueling myself feel simple instead of stressful. And honestly, it tastes amazing. I always keep the vanilla on hand. It's my favorite flavor, and it makes it so easy to reach for something that I actually enjoy and look forward to having. What I also really appreciate is that Premier Protein fits into real life. It's not just for intense gym sessions or hardcore workout days. It's for everything you need fuel for. With 30 grams of protein and tons of delicious flavors, Premier Protein isn't just for those who get after fitness. It's for those who get after life. It's for squeezing in a walk, showing up to a meeting feeling ready, saying yes to plans with friends, winning game night, or even mastering a new recipe for a dinner party. That's why it feels like such an easy, smart choice. Find your favorite flavor at premierprotein.com. That's PremierProtein.com or at Amazon, Walmart, or other major retailers. When dinner time hits and your fridge is full of question marks, ButcherBox has your back, especially this time of year when routines are resetting and everyone is trying to start strong. The last thing I want to do is overthink what we're making or run to the store one more time. High quality protein shows up at my door and I can build simple meals around it without feeling like I'm starting from scratch every night. What I appreciate is the variety and the options. ButcherBox delivers 100 premium protein options straight to your door, including 100% grass-fed beef, free-range organic chicken, crate-free pork, and wild-caught seafood. And everything is held to the same rigorous standards, whether you're cooking something nicer like a filet or keeping it simple with something quick and kid-friendly. And the customization makes it actually work for real life. You can pick the plan that fits your routine, goals, and schedule. In my box, I usually grab a mix of go-to staples that make weeknights easier and feel like a win every time I open the freezer. For me, that looks like ground beef, salmon, and chicken breast because they're versatile and I can do a million different meals without getting bored. For over a decade, ButcherBox has led the industry with meat and seafood that's antibiotic-free, hormone-free, and independently verified. It's the clean, trustworthy protein you want to be eating, especially at the start of a new year. As an exclusive offer, new listeners can get their choice between filet mignon, New York strip, or chicken breasts in every box for a year, plus $20 off when you go to butcherbox.com/squeeze. That's right, your choice of filet mignon, a New York strip, or chicken breast in every box for an entire year, plus $20 off your first box. And free shipping always. That's butcherbox.com/squeeze. Don't forget to use our link so they know that we sent you. Okay, it's January 2026, which means people are doing all kinds of resets, new routines, new habits, fresh starts, and today I want to introduce one of those that is honestly simple, underrated, and kind of life-improving. Wet January. Not in a dramatic reinvent yourself way, more in a let's upgrade the everyday stuff way. Because the truth is, a lot of us are still using dry toilet paper like it's the best option. That's where Good Wipes comes in. Good Wipes makes flushable wipes that are designed with just the right amount of cleansing solution to help make you feel clean and refreshed. They're made with plant-based fibers that are designed to break down easily, so they're actually flushable. And they're made with cleaning ingredients that are gentle on the skin. One of the biggest reasons I like them is that they're made for sensitive skin. They're thoroughly tested, super gentle, and they don't leave behind residue or irritation. They also have really nice scent options that are clean and subtle, not overpowering. Options like rosewater, shea cocoa, lavender, and botanical bliss. My favorite is the lavender. It's one of those small changes that makes every day feel a little more put together. You don't have to overhaul your entire life in January. Sometimes you just have to upgrade one simple routine, and it makes a bigger difference than you expect. So if you want to try Wet January with me and honestly keep it going throughout the year, grab Good Wipes at Target or Walmart to upgrade your restroom routine. As a special offer for the Squeeze listeners, Good Wipes is giving you your first pack for free. All you have to do is buy a pack in store, text them your receipt, and get reimbursed almost immediately. For details, head to goodwipes.com/squeeze. Again, that's goodwipes.com/squeeze to snag a free pack of Good Wipes.
Oh, could this vintage store be any cuter?
Right? And the best part? They accept Discover.
Accept Discover? In a little place like this? I don't think so, Jennifer.
Oh, yeah, huh? Discover's accepted where I like to shop. Come on, baby, get with the times.
Right, so we shouldn't get the parachute pants?
These are making a comeback. I think.
Discover is accepted at 99% of places that take credit cards nationwide. Based on the February 2025 Nielsen report.
So you mentioned a little bit about your mom and growing up. You said you started hair when you were young. Did you always want to pursue hair? Like what made you decide to dream big? Because I think that's a big through line throughout your book is growing up and being put in a situation that maybe the odds were against you and really believing in yourself to chase your dreams. What was that like growing up for you?
I mean, growing up in I say northern, people were like, no, it's the middle. It's the Midlands of England. It's right in the middle. It's not London. It's not LA. It's not New York. And when I was a kid, I got a job at the age of 13 in a hair salon. And because of that, I was really quickly labeled as being gay. They were people like guys and girls would be like, "Oh, you're gay," and I'd be like, "No, I'm not. I just do hair." But like, I didn't even have sex. I wasn't really thinking about sexuality at the time.
Yeah.
But very quickly, I was labeled as something that was bad, and it wasn't as though anyone was saying it in a nice way. They were like, "You're gay," you know. It was.
Yeah.
I was like, I don't want to be that. And I was also told I was stupid a lot because at school I was dyslexic, so I didn't really take in information off the board like everyone else did. I needed to more talk about it and bring color to it. Like I needed it to be out there and alive. But that wasn't the done way. So I was just labeled stupid and put in the special needs class. So I think hair was the first time that I really found something that I was good at.
Yeah.
So when I found something I was good at, I was like, I'm going to be the best at this. I'm going to be the best at this. I'm going to show everyone.
Yeah.
So I think you really focus. I guess, unconsciously abandoned myself.
Yeah.
I left that person that I felt was bad or wrong and really just got into a mindset of like, I need to be successful. I need to get out of this. I need to show everyone and prove everyone I'm wrong.
Yeah.
And it's actually really sad to, I guess, go back to that little boy that I did abandon. And part of healing was going back to that. Because for a long time, I didn't even like going back to England. I'd made the big move to America.
Yeah.
My life changed. I would go back to England and have a panic attack. I literally would be hyperventilating. I did not know what was wrong with me. I didn't know what I wasn't conscious I was going to feel that way, but I landed, and I remember I started to see some of the things that I recognized, and I was like, I can't be here. I need to get back to the life I've just made.
Yeah.
Because so much of my childhood was I was so bullied, like aggressively, you know, like spat on, punched, beaten up. Like I hadn't done anything. I wasn't even gay. I wasn't even having a relationship. I had more girlfriends than I did anything. But because I did something different, I was labeled at that. So I think I really got focused on trying to like prove everyone that I was not these things that I was told. But in doing that, like I say, I really abandoned myself, and I think I feel really sad about that. That you know, and I think a lot of people do that. A lot of people are shamed into being a version of themselves or told they should do this. Even in career move, it's like you shouldn't do that. You should do this, and that's why I put the book together. I put the book together to really help people shed some of these opinions and views that have been put on them that they carry and they don't even really realize. Yeah. So it's a little sort of handbook into looking in the mirror and being able to actually see yourself for who you are and where, and also more importantly, who you want to be. Yeah. And there's really great steps in there that actually take you along into seeing that and finding out who you are. And I think once you see yourself and once you look, you can't unsee it. Yeah. A lot changes. And you really realize how you've abandoned yourself. You realize how you make, even if you're like a mother or a father, like how you make it all about the kids or all about the family, and it's kind of like to the extreme where you don't give yourself anything. And that's why I noticed when I worked in the salon, mums that had like had their kids grow up and go to college, all of a sudden were like really lost because they had no identity left because they'd put their identity in the kids. For sure. Which I get. We all do that as parents. I'm not saying that's unhealthy, but I think it's really important to be able to come back to yourself, and you know, you only get one life and you're living it, so you might as well try and make it as colorful and as, you know, good a place to be as possible.
Yeah, oh, for sure. What would you say to someone who is scared to go after their dreams, whether they're a young kid listening to this about to go to college, or a mom whose kids are off to college and she wants a career change? What advice would you give them from what you've kind of dealt with in your own life?
I think fear is like a really powerful word. And I'll tell you a story actually about a time I had fear. This is kind of related to a celebrity. And it's a time that honestly, if I'd have given into this, like none of this would have happened. I wouldn't be here. The book wouldn't be written. I'd be still in Leicester. I basically had just moved to America. And my career was like a steady build. I got qualified in the salon. I wanted to be the top stylist. I kept working towards that. And then I started to do competitions. I noticed there was hair outside of that. Yeah. I lost a lot of times, and then I finally won one. And then I did a TV show, which was a bit like the Great British Bake Off, but of hair. Yeah. So, and I won that, fortunately, I don't know. And everything was just like a little leapfrog into the next thing. So then that led me to this kind of place where I was working a little bit behind the back scenes at like fashion shows. I was only passing pins, but I was like a sponge just absorbing everything. Yeah. Then I was booking like magazines, just small ones, like for papers and stuff. And I started to work with makeup artists, and they worked with celebrities, and they were like, oh, I work with this celebrity. So I'd done a little bit of celebrity and got in there. And then I decided one day after I got an email from someone, which is, I mean, you know, she's an absolute icon, Jennifer Lopez. And I did what everyone would do. I deleted it because I was like, well, this spam. You know, it's like one of those emails like, you're a millionaire. Just fill out this form and give us your information and your bank details. You're like, no, I'm not going to do this. So I did what I thought was the right thing and delete it. And then a few weeks later, I got another email. And I was like, oh, maybe this is not. But then I was like, how does J-Lo know who I am? I'm just Chris from Leicester. Like, I was like, well, maybe she. And it was the time of social media. I started to post my work a lot. I was making a clear kind of platform for what my work was. I was working with Rita Ora at the time. I was constantly changing her hair. It was short, then long, and it was like different colors. And, you know, I was just showcasing my work. And I kind of thought to myself, well, maybe if I go to America, like, I could make it work. Maybe that's the bigger thing. So I moved to America. I literally packed 2 suitcases. I left my apartment. I left everything, and I went to America with a dream. I'm going to do this. Fell flat on my face. I didn't work for months. You know, everyone comes to Hollywood with a dream, and it doesn't always work out. And I kind of had spent all my money, but I'm also a father at that point. So I have 2 kids to support. And I eventually got the call to do The Voice with Christina Aguilera. So I'm like, wow, my moment has come. This is great. I get to shine. But then the fear came in. I'm like, wow, but she's Christina Aguilera.
Yeah.
She's done everything. She's like amazing. She's an icon. So I ended up at The Voice, and there was 3 hours for glam. So it was plenty of time.
Yeah.
I can get to know her. We can discuss the looks. We can have some fun. The makeup artist went in because they had a relationship, and I was waiting outside the trailer. So like an hour went by. I'm still not gone in. So I'm like, well, maybe I'm like a backup because, self-doubt is coming down. I'm like, I'm probably just a backup. Like,
Yeah.
another hour went by, and I'm like feeling really nervous. And then the last 20 minutes before the live show, I got called in. So I'm like, well, hair's probably going to be done because, it's only 20 minutes. So like, it's probably going to be done. I'll just be finishing it off. Well, it wasn't. It was ready to be done. So I was like, oh, bugger, like, what am I going to do? So I was like, I know I had all these wigs prepped and all these hair pieces. And, the life of a celebrity, it's a demanding job of like changing your look up. So wigs and pieces can be a really fun way to do that. So I said, oh, I'd love to try this wig. It was like a little ashier than her hair. It was like a bit of a Hollywood wave. And I kind of thought, oh, this is a great way to sort of do something good, and it's going to be fast. And she's like, I don't like wigs. And I was like, oh, okay, yeah. I was like, okay, yeah. And in that moment, she was great. She wasn't being anything but kind and nice. And she just knew she would wore wigs and maybe not liked it. But I thought she was saying, I see you, Chris. You're an imposter. Like, what are you doing here?
Yeah.
You're a little guy from Leicester. You think you can come in here and work with me? And I just literally felt so small. And I remember fear coming in, like, I felt it in my stomach. And have you ever felt that fear? It like goes over your body. I feel like it like just paralyzes you, and you're like kind of get hazy in your head. And I did that thing that hairdressers do where they start like moving the hair. They just like hairdressers basically do that when they don't know what they're doing. They just kind of fiddle. It's like they're just fiddling with the hair, moving it in different directions. You're like, what are we doing here? Whatever. We're trying to figure it out.
Yeah.
And then I had this moment that was very defining where I heard this voice, and it was actually the mother of my kids, Kate, because on the way over, she said to me, look, Chris, if you don't make this work, you're going to have to come home. Like, you can't keep doing this, And hearing her voice and thinking about my kids, it really just kind of brought me back to myself. It took me from that fearful place of going back to when I was like 13 and felt small and insecure and wrong. And I came back into my adult self, and I was like, I actually know what I'm doing. Like, I've been practicing this for the last 30 years. I think this is going to be great. And I thought, if she doesn't like what I do because she doesn't like it, then that's fine. But if I don't get to even at least show her, I'm always going to kick myself. So I got the wig, and I was like, let's just try this, because you never tried these pieces. Let's just try to put it on. And she's like, oh, because it wasn't like a full wig. It was like behind the hair, and it was just like a piece on the back. But she was like, oh, I like it. So I quickly put it on. I like bury her hair underneath. She goes out on the stage, and that's it. Welcome to like social media, because all of a sudden everyone's gonna have an opinion. Yeah. And when it's good, it's great, and when it's bad, it's not. So I'm like, oh God, please hope this is gonna be okay. And then she came off stage. It was the little break, and she just kind of looked over at me, and she's like, everyone likes your wig. And then she carried on like talking to the contestants. And in that moment, I was like, yes, I did it. And like, it is the one defining moment that honestly, if I'd have given into that fear that was literally coming over me, like, I don't know, like it was like paralyzing, none of my career would have happened. I would have gone back to Leicester, and I probably would have believed everything that I was told, that I wasn't good enough, that I was stupid, and I was told to stay small. Yeah. But I think there's so much to be said for like people telling these stories and explaining that like it isn't easy, and there's plenty of times that we fall on our face, but it's what you do after. It's how you choose to pick yourself up and move on. And it's not about deleting the past. And for a long time, I thought it was about erasing my past. It's actually about understanding that your past is a part of you, and it evolves you to be the next version of yourself, and that reinvention isn't got an age on it. Anyone can reinvent themselves and have their comeback at any age.
I love that. If you're craving something that feels real, layered, and genuinely engaging, this is a show worth adding to your listen list. Jaded is a weekly series where cultural tastemakers and disruptors let their guard down and speak openly about success, struggle, and everything in between. There are no polished highlight reels here. Instead, the focus is on the behind-the-scenes moments, the pivots, the doubts, and the experiences that shape who people become. Hosted by Jade Begay, each episode weaves candid interviews with unscripted, in-the-moment conversation. The results feel intimate and dynamic, like getting a backstage pass to discussions that usually stay private. It's conversational, honest, and refreshingly unfiltered. Listeners will hear hard-earned lessons in leadership, the messy realities of chasing your passions, and the small but meaningful life hacks that help people keep moving forward when skepticism starts to creep in. Jaded leans into nuance and uncertainty, showing what growth actually looks like as it's happening. What makes the show especially compelling is the level of access. Jaded opens a window into the lives of people shaping today's culture, offering a rare opportunity to hear how familiar voices navigate doubt, growth, and the search for meaning in real time. These conversations aren't wrapped up in a bow, they're still unfolding. Each episode leaves room for reflection, connection, and forward motion. Between the personal stories and honest insights, you'll find takeaways that linger well beyond the final minutes. It's thoughtful, energizing, and designed to meet listeners wherever they are. Subscribe to the Indigenous House YouTube channel for new episodes of Jaded each week. Support from today's episode comes from Square, and they've got some exciting updates to share. If you've ever run a small business, work with local vendors, or even notice how seamless checkout feels at your favorite cafe or boutique, there's a good chance Square is part of that experience. It's one of those tools quietly powering everyday moments when it's working well and everything just moves smoothly. Right now, Square has rolled out a new wave of tools designed to help local businesses run faster, smarter, and with more confidence. During Square's biannual releases event, they introduced innovations that make managing business feel far less overwhelming, from tools that simplify food orders to technology that tracks every dollar in real time. Square is focused on supporting how modern businesses actually operate. The coffee shop that keeps the line moving, the boutique where checkout takes seconds, or a food truck that stays organized during a rush. A lot of these businesses use Square, and you can feel the difference. Payments are quick, receipts arrive instantly, and everything feels efficient and modern. One of the standout updates is Square AI, which works like an automated business partner. It pulls together your sales inventory and performance data and gives you clear answers fast. Their financial suite gives you a clearer view of where your money is going, helps compare supplier prices, and lets you automatically set aside funds for things like taxes, upgrades, and slower months. Square launched its most powerful tools yet, designed to give local businesses a competitive edge without the complexity. If you're ready to sell smarter, run faster, and stress less, right now you can get up to $200 off Square hardware at square.com/go/squeeze. That's SQUARE.com/GO/squeeze. Run your business smarter with Square. Get started today. Over the holidays, I swear my perfectionist tendencies were working overtime. Like trying to find the perfect gift, hosting the perfect get-together, or putting pressure on myself to do the perfect version of everything. And it's wild how quickly that mindset can creep into your routine. And the reality is, perfect isn't possible, no matter how much our brains try to convince us otherwise. Which is why I've been focusing on small, consistent habits that take the pressure off. And one of those has been ritual. Ritual's essential multivitamins are evidence-based and include key nutrients that are often missed in the average diet, and they're delivered in high-quality bioavailable forms that your body can actually use. I started taking Ritual because I wanted something that felt simple and straightforward. No guessing, no complicated cabinets of bottles, no what is even in this type of energy. I take Ritual Essential for Women 18 and older as part of my daily routine, and what I really like about it is it's easy to stick. I also appreciate how intentional Ritual is about what goes into their products. Their ingredients are high quality and clean, and all of Ritual's products are vegan, GMO-free, and tested for heavy metals and common allergens. A couple details I genuinely love. Essential for Women 18 and older includes 9 key nutrients and 2 delayed release capsules designed for optimal absorption per day. And it's designed to be gentle on the stomach with minty essence in each bottle that makes the whole experience more enjoyable. Instead of striving for perfect health, aim for supporting foundational health. For a limited time, save 40% off your first month at ritual.com/thesqueeze. That's ritual.com/thesqueeze for 40% off your first month.
Yeah.
Have you intentionally done like inner child work? Because I feel like
you know.
have.
How do you
have
know?
been. I can just I feel it. Like I feel like
Because you've done it.
Kind of, yeah. So I talk a lot about it, but just in the way you talk about your younger self.
I'll tell you the truth. I thought it was such a load of bullshit when I first heard about it.
Really?
I have this therapist and he's great.
Yeah.
He's really nice. I love him. He's such a nice guy and very knowledgeable. And I kept saying, why do I keep getting myself into this situation? Why do I keep going out with it? Why do I keep getting into the same fucking situation every time with the same fucking outcome? I was like, I need to change this pattern of what I'm doing.
Yeah.
And it was with regard to dating. So I'm like, just say it. I was trying to go around, but it was with regards to dating. So I'm like, why do I keep ending up with the same thing? And he's like, trying to help me understand it and break it down. And he's like, I want to go back to like a younger memory of yours. And I'm like, oh, here we fucking go. So he's like, I want you to close your eyes. And I'm like, oh, we're going to close my eyes. So I close my eyes and he's like, I want you to think of a time in your life. And I remember this image. I was like 6 years old. I was at the window. I remember looking out. It was pretty gloomy in England. And I remember feeling like I didn't really belong. I was different to my sisters. I was different to my brothers in every way. And I just felt like I didn't really belong. I felt off.
Yeah.
I didn't really feel seen. I'm one of 5 kids.
Yeah.
Life was busy. And he's like, so how do you think that little kid felt? And I'm like, well, probably felt lonely, like sad and unsure. And he's like, well, what would you say to that little kid? And I was like, well, if it was my little kid, I would say, you're great. You're just enough, just the way you are. You're going to have an amazing life. And you might feel a bit different now, but that's going to be your superpower as you get older. And, and I was like, all of a sudden I was not just crying, like sobbing, like hysterically, like ugly crying, couldn't breathe. And I was like, what did you do? I was like, what did you say? Okay, because he wouldn't leave me. I was like, what have you, it was like he pulled this plug inside of me and this flood happened. So anyone that watching might think, oh, this is like whatever. Honestly, it really works. It was a very intense moment. And I realized I had abused myself my whole life. I spoke so badly. I took those voices that people spoke to me and said that I was a piece of shit, I was gay, I was stupid. I took all those things, I believed it, and I ran away from it. And I abandoned that little boy very young, and I left that kid. And I think part of the inner child work is just about coming back to him. And that was really like the changing point in my whole life, because I realized I was making everything about everyone else. I was like doing so much for other people, trying to build them up, but that was breaking me. Like loving someone so much, but the reality of it is that was breaking me for whatever the reasons were. And I realized that was just so unhealthy, and I didn't want to do that anymore. And I wanted to see that little boy, and it changed everything, because once I learned that, look, I still have that inner hater voice that we all have. Everyone always has it. It's not as though you're going to read the book or read any book or speak to anyone and you're going to be fixed. Like, it's a journey, and it should be, because you're always evolving into new things. But the difference is, like, if I do get that voice that comes up now, it's a lot quieter, and I don't get it for so long. And I'll register. I'm like, oh, I'm doing that thing that I do. And you can come back to yourself.
For sure.
So it's not a lot, because sometimes pretend like people are like, oh, I say this and you're all fixed. It's really not like that. It's just you learn how to sort of navigate. Like, I've been down that road before and it really didn't work out. So I'm going to avoid it. Even I might be still attracted to it. Yeah. Because I still get that. I still am attracted to certain situations. And I'm like, it doesn't work for me. It's not healthy. Yeah. I'm going to, bypass it. So it's not as though you completely fix, but, you learn, you grow, and you evolve into, someone that can sit with themselves, look at themselves in the mirror and feel actually pretty proud or happy with where you're at. Yeah. Just like speaking kinder to yourself. I always say, like, Could you be honest and tell me one thing like your inner hater says about you? Probably that maybe that I'm not good enough. Like, yeah, that's a good one. I work really hard, and I feel like I have to do everything or it won't get done, or totally. That's my thing. And for anyone listening that's ever said I'm spiraling, you're going that place. It's you just don't spiral as much. You kind of can stop yourself. You're like, I'm doing that thing. Yeah. You're doing a great job for what it's worth. You're doing great, sweetie. Yeah. Thank you. You touched on it a little bit, and I think obviously we've been talking about fear and fear of disappointing your kids and your ex-wife as well was something that you struggled with before coming out. And I think no matter
what it is, if it's something that is like that, or even something smaller that isn't as drastically life-changing to the people around you, the fear of disappointing people can definitely hold you back. And I think you and I are similar in the sense of like people pleasing and putting other people's feelings and opinions first. And then that just ends up hurting us during that. And we don't even like realize that that's happening. And with that can definitely like build up a sense of like shame around it. And it's just something that slowly builds. And it may not even be something that I feel like sometimes I don't even notice that is kind of building in me. But then it gets to a point where it's kind of too big to even handle or notice. What has kind of helped you heal from dealing with that fear or shame of disappointing the ones that you love?
I mean, probably. I think because it's been so extreme.
Yeah.
You like, it's interesting because even when I think about it, I have to pause because it's hard to talk about still even now. But
Yeah.
you know, when I came out at 26, it was so hard because not only was I trying to understand what was going on, and everyone said like, you always knew, like when I did the Jay Shetty podcast, like I saw a lot of people comment saying like, you always knew you were gay. You put that woman through like hell. And honestly, it's not the truth. Like at a young age when I was told I was these things that seemed bad, before I'd really kind of delved into it, I was very focused on just not being that. I didn't really entertain it. Your brain is really powerful, how you can just like unsee something.
Yeah.
But only for so long. And it was like at the age of 26 where when I realized that, I had to try and understand what the hell was going on. And then not only was I trying to understand that, I was trying to explain it to other people.
Yeah.
The people I loved the most, I was also hurting. And I felt that I was bringing that shame that I had as a child onto them. I felt like, oh, they're going to get bullied. They're going to get picked on now. They're going to have a gay dad. It's going to be hell. And, you know, that to me was the limit. Like I couldn't comprehend hurting my own children, because all you want to do as a dad or as a parent is just protect your kids. That's your job. That's who you want to be. It's just internal. It's just an instinct.
Yeah.
To be the one that's hurting them, well, I'd always put them before me, and I just felt like it would be better if I wasn't there than to be gay. I couldn't process it. I just couldn't. I didn't want to process it. I didn't want to be it. It felt like a cancer that I wanted to cut out.
Yeah.
And I tried everything to try and get rid of it, and I couldn't. So I did try and end my life, and it didn't work because I was found. I mean, Kate, who is the mother of my kids, she is like my saving grace, but they found me anyway. And I think when I laid in that hospital bed, I was in there for a while, and I remember thinking to myself, well, what now? And it wasn't like a big thing. It wasn't loud. I just remember feeling like I couldn't have hated myself anymore. I couldn't have wanted to be anyone else than me. And I realized I'd spent my whole life trying to be somewhere else.
Yeah.
Or be someone else. And I didn't know how to get back to myself, because there was a lot of years in the gap of like getting back to myself, and I couldn't fill those years overnight. And I think in that moment I just surrendered. I just sort of said, what's the opposite I could do? I could just, if I'm going to be here, I can't change it. So maybe if I'm just accepting of it.
Yeah.
I don't really know what is going to be next. And I don't really know how to move forward with it. But what about if I just accept it?
Yeah.
And try and deal with the next step after that. But step one is just saying, this is who I am.
Yeah.
And I think it's probably the first time I'd said that since I was a kid. And I think it's the first time I'd seen myself in a long time. And like I said, I'd made a career out of making other people see themselves, which was really powerful. I loved that. I felt like a superpower. I loved making people feel alive and like becoming their best version of themselves and allowing them to be who they wanted to be. I just never allowed myself.
Yeah.
So shame is such a powerful thing, and I carried it so heavily that I think I don't think I would allow myself to get to that place again, because I'm in a different place now. I have come back to myself. I don't think I could have like gone ahead of like living with shame if I hadn't have done the work of coming back to myself and filling in the gaps, which I just like blocked.
Yeah.
But it's the best thing you can ever do. It's brutal. It's not easy to do, but it's the best thing you can ever do.
Yeah.
Because when you, like I say, if you're aligned on the outside, you look great. Who cares if you go home and you're crying at night? You know, like who cares if you're miserable? And there's so many complications you can get from that, in controlling what you eat, controlling how you look. It can get so intense and can escalate in other areas of your life. And I just wanted to be more whole. I felt like I owed that to my kids, to be a good dad. To show them to be proud of who they are.
Yeah.
Even though the circumstances were awful, but I think I just decided to make a change. And when I did, everything changed. And it wasn't overnight.
Yeah.
It takes time. I think that's the thing of change is like people think it can just happen. It takes time and it's not always easy, but it's the best thing you can ever do.
Are you prepared for people to like read this and comment on it? Like, how are you at a place where you're like, people can say whatever they want?
I mean, I think you would be like, I don't know if I believe it when people go, I don't care. Like, I mean, I think if you're human, then you will always have an instinct to feel one way or the other. I kind of like opinions. I don't mind discussions. I think it's healthy.
Yeah.
And I think I've shared what I want to share, and I hope, like I say, it inspires a lot of people. I think the whole thing of social media and people having so many opinions now, I think it's really good, and I think there's so much that is good that has come from it.
Yeah.
We know so much now about everything.
Yeah.
Apparently like 100 years ago, people only knew in a whole lifetime what we know in a day or something like, because anytime, like you just Google everything.
Yeah.
Even like ChatGPT now, write me a letter, write me this email. You don't even have to think, it just does it all for you. So I think it's just like the world we live in. I'm just used to it. I'm just used to everyone having an opinion and a discussion about things. And I think there's a healthiness to it. I don't love it when people jump on a bandwagon and just want to be like heard. I don't know if that's always healthy.
Yeah.
You hear one thing trending and then it was like, I went there once and this place, and I'm like, did you?
Yeah.
But I understand that it's a platform where people get to express themselves. And I'm cool with that. Like, I think it's I don't know. I think there's more good than bad.
Yeah.
And I know people can like say bad things about social media, but I'll be honest. Like, I wouldn't be here if it wasn't for social media, because J-Lo wouldn't be seeing me in Leicester of England when she was in Hollywood.
Yeah.
So yes, it does put the eyes on you. And it can be bad, but it can also be for great things. And I think it's just how you navigate it, really. And I mean, I know who I am. I know who I am as a dad. I know how important the people are around me that I love, and I'm proud of that. So no, I'm really proud to put it out, and I really hope people see the good in it. And also, there's a lot of really funny stories that I think a lot of people don't really know that about me. I love to laugh. I'm always being stupid. They see that more that polished version. And again, I wanted to like pull that back a little bit and be like keeping it real.
Yeah.
So hopefully, with that realness and that rawness, people will relate to it.
Yeah, I love that. What does self-care look like to you? What are tools or practices that you like to implement when you maybe feel you need a little self-love, mental health care?
I just look in the mirror and I say a few words. I just say, like, bitches ain't shit and they ain't say nothing. 100 motherfuckers can't tell me nothing. I beezed in the train.
It's beautiful.
I just say a few serious words. We were laughing so, like, if there's these funny things on TikTok where there's these women, she's in like a court and she's really serious and she's saying this. I just love TikTok and Instagram. I think it's fucking hilarious. No, what do I do when I'm feeling sad?
Yeah. What do you do to keep your mental
just
health
stupid stuff like that. Just laugh. Take myself out of it. I just am like, oh my God, those lemons, are they real? I don't know. I'll just think of something. I've got like a really creative mind. I'm always making like, I'll like do funny things, like tricks to my family or like or friends, or I'm like trying to scare someone, or I called my friend the other day, Bethany Frankel, and I'm like, babe, and she's like, what? And I'm like, did you mean to post that? And she's like,
Oh my gosh.
post what? And I'm like, that selfie, your boobs are out. Like, I can literally see your boobs. She said, what do you want about? And I'm like, you've got like a selfie in the mirror and your boobs are out. And she's like, well, what do you want? And no, I didn't. No. And she's like going into this fun pattern. I'm like pissing myself. And I just did it for no apparent reason.
Yeah.
I just think it's good to like keep it real in life. Sometimes
Yeah.
we get so friggin' lost in like, I mean, I can't tell you how many emails and texts and stuff I've had about this book. And then like, there's so much going on, like all the time, like your job, and then
For sure.
kids, and just being a dad, and my parents now. I'm like the parent to them, as
Yeah.
we've got older. It's funny. I'm sure most people can relate to life being kind of crazy, and sometimes you just gotta laugh and be a bit more real about it, and not take it too seriously. We're not necessarily saving lives, so I think I just try and laughter is really powerful. Like just having a little laugh and breaking the ice, and just. I love that. I think there's a beauty in being able to just have that like real laugh that you can have with the people you love or your friends or family.
For sure.
Yeah.
Well, last question I have for you is I'd love to know what you're most proud of yourself for.
Oh, easy. You want to know what it is?
I do.
I didn't know if it was related to it.
No. I just feel like it's important because a lot of times people, I ask them and they're like, I don't know. Like I've never I think it's important that we take the time to kind of like reflect on
100%.
how we've grown and how we've changed in life. So yeah, what do you most
my
proud of?
greatest achievement, the thing I'm the most proud of, without doubt, and you can take everything away from me. You can take my job, you can take my finances, you can take my house, you can take whatever. I am so grateful for my 2 kids.
Mm-hmm.
They bring me so much joy. Like I'm 42. My daughter's 21, my son's 23, and I'm so proud of them. And one of my greatest achievements, I think, is bringing them to America and getting them away from the small town they grew up in, where life is a little bit smaller and, opportunities are less, and bringing them to say, and it wasn't forceful. It was like, come see what you think. And the way they've blossomed and the way they've grown. I mean, my daughter, Kitty, when she first came to LA, she couldn't even look at someone in the eye to order food. I remember thinking, oh my God, why can't you, because it's just the way she was kind of like, I guess, around her friends or around people where she kind of, again, like her roots were defining her. And I was like, you need to make eye contact. And like now she, the way she communicates and the way she talks to me, she's telling me things. And I'm like, oh my God, you have grown into the most beautiful woman. And my son, the way he has gone about, his career choice, because it's completely different to me. He's in like sports and business. Couldn't be further from, I don't know what the fuck going on, but I'll support him. But just the way he's so like organized with his businesses and such a, I don't know, just a positive person. And again, he had such struggles when he was a kid. Like me being gay, like he was the footballer at school. It scared him that he was, kids can be mean. You just don't want to be the odd one, Yeah. But the way he's grown through that and the way he's grown now. And for them to actually say, when I did the book and it came out and we had the first sort of launch of it, they wrote these letters to me and they've never really done anything like that. And it was the most heartfelt, warm letters. And the biggest sort of most powerful thing they said was that they were proud of me to be their dad. And honestly, I'm good now. Like it's my greatest achievement. And I don't say it lightly. I genuinely am so grateful to be in the position I'm in my life and be able to share that with them.
Yeah. It's so special. Well, thanks for coming and chatting.
What's your greatest achievement?
Oh gosh.
Don't play it down. You did that thing. You were like, you did that. Oh, don't look at me. Come on. What is it? Let's talk about it.
I think I'm most proud of my kindness. I think even though sometimes it is to a fault where I assume the best in people.
Okay, yeah, totally.
I think still
been there,
being in this industry and still, being burned and being hurt, I still love people and I still seek the best in them and hope the best in people. So I think maybe that's what I'm most proud of.
It's beautiful. And it's a real hard thing to keep, especially when like that, to be that way, I think you have to have an openness. And I think with like people mistreating you or being hurt, you can close off.
Yeah.
And it'd be an easy thing to do to become hard. But it's really sad to be that way, when it's not inherently who you are.
Yeah.
Thank you so much for having me.
Thank you. I'm so
really
excited for
fun.
people to read this, and I loved chatting with you.
Yeah,
I
me
feel like
too.
I had a lot of things I wanted to ask you, but I ended up just sidebarring and
Oh,
and-
just chatting.
Yeah,
Should
thank
we
you.
go get your husband and give him hair advice?
Probably.
Let's do it.